Happy Mother's Day. Mother Nature's going to throw a party, and we're not really going to want to deal with it, but we don't also have a choice. So let's talk about the return of active weather to Texas in this special Sunday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Good morning. It is Sunday, the 12th of May, 2024. It's Mama's Day, and happy Mother's Day to you all. It is going to be a bit of a stormy one across several regions of the state of Texas. Storm chances late, well, pretty much this morning, this afternoon. We're probably going to be quiet most of tonight, and then we're doing it again late tomorrow morning through early tomorrow evening, and then we're going to be quiet Tuesday. And then we're going to go back to storms on Wednesday and Thursday before hopefully being at least quieter by Friday. Yeah, that was a pretty easy forecast, wasn't it? Alas, if it was only that simple. Let's just take a look at what's probably going to be the biggest issue the next couple of days. These are now forecast rain totals. Today, 7 a.m. this morning through 7 a.m. Tuesday, so 48 hours. We got a problem. These have come up substantially now in areas that honestly don't need it in any way, shape, or form, unfortunately. The possibility now of 3 to 6 inches of rain with localized isolated totals approaching 10 inches on top of everything that's already fallen across the Piney woods of East Texas, portions of the eastern Brazos Valley, and parts of East Texas. Now, exactly where this corridor of heaviest rain sets up is still a bit up in the air, but unfortunately, it is likely we're going to be dealing with another significant episode of at least localized flooding across the areas I just mentioned, and that will likely also result in another flood wave down some of the major tributaries in southeast Texas over the next few days. Exactly the level of flooding is going to be determined by how much rain falls, but clearly soils remain saturated, and this isn't good. This is going to probably be another high-impact flood event for portions of the Piney Woods of East Texas, portions of the eastern Brazos Valley, parts of East Texas, and then whatever falls is going to have to get down to the Gulf of Mexico one way or another. So that will go into the rivers, the tributaries, and that will result in likely at least another wave of flooding, potentially significant, moderate to major flooding over the next, 5 to 7 days. So that's not really good news. It's definitely not what I want to give you on Mother's Day. At this point, looking like between, let's just say, a quarter inch up to an inch of rain. Texas Panhandle, Northwest Texas, Big Country, Texoma, the Arklatex, down into the Hill Country, the Eastern Concho Valley, the Eastern Big Country, and the Coastal Plains, the potential for 1 to 3 inches of rain. North Texas, Northeast Texas, Central Texas, the Hill Country, and then the heavier rains again. East Texas, the Piney Woods of East Texas, kind of the Golden Triangle, a little bit into Southeast Texas. The heaviest rains look to stay north of Interstate 10, at least in terms of what's going to come out of the sky and, fall, but then we're going to have to deal with the water coming upstream anyway in a few days. So, and again, this is just forecast rain totals this morning through Tuesday morning, today, tomorrow. And then, for what it's worth, unfortunately, the break is going to be short Tuesday. Looks dry. We're going to have more rain and thunderstorms Wednesday into Thursday. We'll deal with that, but some of that rain's also going to be heavy, so this is not good news. Outside of the hydrometeorological issues with heavy rainfall and flooding, we're also going to have the risk for some severe storms. Here's the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather outlook for today. This is going to be another one of these early events where we could be underway by mid to late morning across parts of the eastern Texas Panhandle, West Texas, the Big Country, Northwest Texas, the Concho Valley. Main threat with these storms is going to be hail. Maybe some localized damaging winds, but hail. Same thing goes for the Hill Country. As we get into the early afternoon, mid-afternoon, late afternoon, the potential for some of these storms in the Brazos Valley, Southeast Texas, East Texas to become severe with perhaps a low tornado threat, large to very large hail, and localized damaging wind gusts. But I want to once again say, yeah, we're going to have hailers at times today, maybe a low tornado threat and some localized damaging winds. The heavy rain and the flooding issue, I expect by far, is going to be the most significant issue we deal with over the next 2 days. So this is going to be a multifaceted issue. And again, parts of the state, y'all are like, what flooding? We need the rain. Well, not in East Texas and Southeast Texas, they don't. And for what it's worth, this is right before hurricane season getting here. This is not exactly what we want to see. I think it's clearly one of the more problematic situations if we have, a tropical depression or tropical storm in, say, a month. We're going to have issues with that in terms of where are we going to put all that water. I just want to throw that thought out there. It's not something we have to deal with right now, but it's definitely a uh-oh situation in the making. Here's the severe weather outlook for tomorrow. For tonight, the threat of severe storms probably diminishing by 11 p.m. Main threat today, again, hail to very large hail. Localized damaging winds. There may be some tornado threat in the Brazos Valley, East Texas, Southeast Texas, depending on where a warm front sets up and a boundary sets up. We'll talk about that in a minute. Tomorrow, the potential for scattered severe storms, pretty much. Arklatex, North Texas, Central Texas, the Hill Country, South Central Texas, the Coastal Plains, the Coastal Bend, Southeast Texas, the Piney Woods of East Texas, the Golden Triangle in far Southeast Texas. Tornado threat tomorrow on the low side. Looks like it would actually be highest probably in the Arklatex. Otherwise, tomorrow, same as today, we could see large to very large hail. Some of the storms could be dropping, hail up the size of baseballs. It's May, after all. Localized damaging wind gusts to over 70 miles an hour. And again, maybe a tornado or two. Biggest issue, probably still going to be flooding. Let's talk about the threats or the timing over the next few days. Tomorrow, for what it's worth, like today, the severe weather threat could be underway by 10 to 11 a.m. But unlike today, hopefully, if things play correctly, we're going to be done by dinner time. This is the high-res rapid refresh model for today, tonight, into Monday. This is just a timing guesstimate. You can see it's going to be pouring rain. It's going to be storming across pretty much, northern third of Texas this afternoon. Storms tonight into tomorrow morning. Well, this afternoon into tomorrow morning, really. Setting up along that warm front. That's going to be like a train on the tracks. We're just going to see that be the area of strongest lift, where we're going to see storms just keep redeveloping. And they're going to be moving from west to east, but they're just going to keep redeveloping. So in all intent and purposes, train on a track situation, we're just going to keep pouring rain. Some of these storms near that warm front, again, could have a bit of spin to them. We'll have to keep an eye out for a tornado or two. Otherwise, large hail damaging winds possible. I think the flooding threat's going to be the most problematic. You can see we got plenty of storms today. So, strongest storms, again, big hail, strong winds, maybe a tornado, heavy rain and flooding issues probably going to be the most widespread and problematic, with the potential for significant flooding in parts of East Texas, Southeast Texas this afternoon through, Monday night. You could see we get a break tonight. I don't think we're going to have a big complex of storms moving across the state tonight, at least in terms of severe weather. We should have a mostly quiet, after midnight into the sunrise hours Monday. Storms may get going pretty early Monday morning, though, in terms of, 9, 10, 11 a.m. And then those could evolve into a cluster that moves southeast, really from the Arklatex, North Texas, Central Texas, the Hill Country, South Central Texas, all the way down to the Texas Gulf Coast. Strongest storms with damaging winds, hail, heavy rain. But depending on the timing elements, we may be done by, 7 to 8 p.m. if they're moving off the Texas Gulf Coast and the Gulf of Mexico on Monday. And then we're done. Monday night, Tuesday, all look pretty quiet. And then we get active again Wednesday, Thursday. Hopefully we're quieting down towards Friday and the weekend. We'll see. It depends on the upper level pattern that's still out in weather model voodoo land. But again, today, busy. Tomorrow, busy. Tuesday, not busy, at least in terms of new precipitation. If we've got another flood wave moving down the Trinity and the San Jacinto rivers, then, it's going to be busy for those folks. Wednesday, busy. Thursday, maybe very busy. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hopefully not as busy, but we'll see. In terms of fire weather conditions, yes, even though we're talking about flooding, western parts of the state, fire. West of the dry line today, very high fire danger across the borderland, El Paso, far west Texas, Guadalupe Mounds, the Trans-Pecos, the Davis Mounds, the Big Bend, western Permian Basin. Then tomorrow, high to locally high, let's rephrase that. High to very high fire danger, West Texas, the Permian Basin, the Big Bend, the Edwards Plateau, Davis, Guadalupe Mounds, the Trans-Pecos, the borderland, far west Texas. Same thing Tuesday, with the exception of areas that might get wetting rainfall today or tomorrow. Tuesday, we're not really expecting any new precipitation. Then Wednesday, yeah, we might across parts of at least the western half of the state. Thursday, spreading east. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll see. Here's today's high temperature forecast across the state for your Mother's Day. It's going to be with the rain chances and cloud cover today. Highs in the 70s, northeastern half of the state, 80s, southeast Texas, the coastal plains, 90s to near 100. Rio Grande Plains, Rio Grande Valley, Edwards Plateau, into the Permian Basin, the Big Bend, 87 this afternoon in El Paso. Tomorrow, we're going to see warming conditions across the state, mostly upper 70s, 80s, 90s to lower triple digits. On Tuesday, warming trend continues, 80s to 90s across most of the state, 100 along the Rio Grande, Edwards Plateau, Rio Grande Plains, Rio Grande Valley, Big Bend, parts of the Permian Basin. Wednesday, yeah, that's right, I'm just not used to doing one of these on the weekend. Highs mostly in the 80s to 90s across the state. Thursday, when we have the highest precipitation chances, it looks like, relatively, of the midweek system. Highs back down to the 70s, low 80s, northeastern, two-thirds of Texas, still in the 90s to near 100, South Texas, the Rio Grande Plains, Edwards Plateau, Big Bend, where precip chances don't look impressive. And then after that, we begin a significant warm-up on Friday. Most of the state looks to be in the 90s by Friday, or triple digits. Same for Saturday. So again, that is going to be it for your Sunday morning edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. We will be keeping an eye on not only the threat for some rowdy thunderstorms in the hail department today, but the heavy rainfall flooding potential as well. I realize flooding, hydrometeorological mischief isn't as sexy as spinny dooms or giant ice chunks falling out of the sky, but it's dangerous, it's destructive, it's damaging, and we're going to be dealing with it over the next 2 days. So we're going to have to deal with that and remind folks that yes, flooding is dangerous, especially when it gets to the point where we're seeing houses underwater. So alright, that's it. As always, you can keep an eye on the sky with the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps for your device. It's free. You can get your local weather forecast. We have multiple interactive weather radars. You got the weather radar on the radar button. You can also click the More tab and click Zoom Radar. That's another radar. You can use that same radar on our website, texasstormchasers.com/radar. If needed, we'll have severe weather coverage later today. That'll be on the website, app, YouTube channels. And if I'm forgetting something, well, too bad. That's it. Y'all have a good day. We'll keep you updated on the weather. We'll chat with you later. God bless.